Well, he didn't. So the Patriots will begin a brand new era at the quarterback position, and Jarrett Stidham is their guy. His former head coach at Auburn, Gus Malzahn, joined Andrew Siciliano on NFL Now, and he says he has all the confidence in the world that Stidham is ready for the opportunity.
I just think when they picked him, it was really the perfect pick for him. The system, the stability, everything that goes with that. You're talking about a guy that's like a coach on the field. He understands where to go with the ball. He understands protections, and he's got a dynamic arm. I mean, he can make all the throws. And so, I think he's been waiting on this moment. I think last year was good, sitting behind one of the best or the best to ever do it. So I think Jarrett's in a good spot.
So Jarrett Stidham will join this long, illustrious list of other notable quarterbacks in New England since Tom Brady became the starter. Over 19 seasons. Matt Castle got the most run in 2008 when Brady tore his ACL, going 10-5. Jimmy G and Jacoby Brissett, the only others to really see any game action there. So let's bring back in Steve Smith Sr. and Bucky Brooks. Bucky, we thought that the Patriots could possibly draft a quarterback this year, but obviously they didn't. They traded out of that first round. So what did you see from Stidham when he was coming out of college?
And look, there's a lot to like about Jarrett Stidham. You heard Gus Malzahn rave about him. And look, coming out, he was a big-time player. He was a guy that was a four-star recruit, went to Baylor, transferred to Auburn, and had success. Now, people are talking about the disappointing final year at Auburn, but make no mistake, when you pop the tape, you see a guy with a high IQ, big arm, can throw it all over the field in terms of he has big-time arm talent. Throws with touch, timing, and anticipation. And what I like, when I saw him play in the preseason, I saw those same things. Quick rhythm throwing well off play action, completed over 67% of his throws, averaged 8.1 yards per attempt, and had 4 touchdowns and only 1 interception. I know we can dismiss it as preseason, but Jarrett Stidham is a solid player. I think Jarrett Stidham is going to play well for the Patriots when he gets his opportunity.
Well, Bucky, I love what you said, and I think Gus Malzahn said some excellent things. But have we ever had a former coach for a draft pick ever say, the kid stunk, he's not very good? No, he's not going to say that. However, we also don't know how good he will be. Well, we're going to find out real quickly when his feet are to the fire and understand, does he have a big arm? Can he make the clutch throw when there is a mess up by the lineman or when someone's in his face? Will he get happy feet? Will he play a hot potato? That are all the questions that we have seen and known. That you also remember he did look a little uneasy in the playoff in the preseason. So don't say he looked okay when coach had to take him out to kind of save his confidence. So I'm just saying, just pointing it out a little bit that nobody comes on here and says he's not very good.
That is a fair point. Look, Stidham or not, that is a tough act to follow in New England. I'm sure the rest of the division is absolutely thrilled. So let's take a look at the rest of the division with our draft grades presented by Lexus here. So the Pats obviously passed on a quarterback, opting instead for safety Kyle Duggar and linebacker Josh Uche. The talent in Buffalo is shaping up quite nicely. Some front seven depth there and another skill position player in Zach Moss. Joe Douglas helping the Jets to build around Sam Darnold, getting Mekhi Becton up front and Denzel Mims to help offset the loss of Robbie Anderson. And then the Dolphins, they get their quarterback Tua and some protection as well with Austin Jackson. So, Steve, when you look at this division, which AFC East team helped themselves the most in the draft?
I got to go with the Buffalo Bills because they're the only team there that doesn't have a revolving door at multiple positions. When you talk about the New England Patriots, you talk about the quarterback situation. How can a guy with very little experience, what will he do? But you have the Bill Belichick effect, who always is you can never count him out. Then the New York Jets, they're building around Sam Darnold. But they also won a shopping spree last year in free agency. So they spent the most money. Yay! right? And then you talk about the Miami Dolphins. They used all 89 of their picks to get so many key players to help them rebuild and start to climb out of the basement, an unfinished basement, I would say, before Brian Flores got there. And now it is the foundation is set, and they're going with Tua, and they have utilized draft picks and free agency to have a better supporting cast. So with all that being said, Buffalo Bills.
Love the Bills. They essentially got Stephon Diggs as their first-round pick, so I think they're doing pretty well. Plus, they don't have to deal with Brady anymore in that division. And speaking of wide receivers here, we got more to come on NFL Total Access here because 6 wide receivers were taken in the first round of the NFL draft, and 1 is in the perfect spot in his robe. Still one of my favorite moments from the draft. Not a shock to see Ruggs, Judy, and Lamb as the first 3 receivers off the board. The order, though, was a bit surprising for the big 3 and really the entire first round. 13 wide receivers taken in the first 2 rounds, the most in the common draft era. As for which rookie landed in the best spot, though, let's hear from our players only.
What's up, guys? I'm Real Mike Robb. I'm here with the touchdown maker and wide receiver in James Jones, and a guy on the other side of the ball who locks down wide receivers in D'Angelo Hall. And guys, I'm going to start with you, James. Which wide receiver was drafted into the best situation?
This is easy. This is easy, Mike Robb. It's CeeDee Lamb, man. He fell right into the Cowboys' lap, man, at 17. I've been in this Mike McCarthy's offense. I know how special receivers can be in this offense. He is going to see a lot of one-on-one coverage because you better believe Amari Cooper is going to get attention. Gallup's going to get attention. Oh, and they do have a dude in the backfield that can run the ball with a big-time O-line. So he's going to be the guy over there that gets a lot of one-on-one coverage. And the biggest thing about him in the draft was when he catches it, he gets yak. He does not get tackled by the first guy ever. He is special with the ball in his hands. And when it's only one guy to make miss over there because the attention is over there on Amari Cooper and Zeke in the backfield, he is going to be special. I know the Cowboys were sitting there saying we want a defensive player. They did not think he was going to fall to him at 17. And CeeDee Lamb in this offense, I'm just thinking about all the great ones that came out of Mike McCarthy's offense, the Greg Jennings, the Jordy Nelsons, the Donald Driver. CeeDee Lamb on the other side of Gallup and Amari Cooper, this offense is going to be special. And I said on the last show I was with you on this thing, Mike Robb, that I wouldn't be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys was the #1 seed in the NFC. Well, I'm going to say it again, Mike Robb. The Dallas Cowboys, I will not be surprised if they're the #1 seed in the NFC.
Wow. You hear that, D. Hall? You drinking the same thing?
I heard it.
James
I
drinking over there?
I don't believe it, but I hear it. They better do something on that defensive side of the ball because they had the #1 offense last year. And so you get another offensive weapon, that ain't really going to do much to sway me one way or the other. So this is not about offense. They better do something with that defense, man. Hey, look, when you talk about receivers, I think about this special kid, man. I was once a basketball player growing up. I thought I was going to be in the NBA. When I watch this dude basketball highlights, man, Henry Ruggs, he is a different kind of athlete, man. I played against John Gruden offenses, and those things love it when they can get a guy who can stretch the field. I can remember Joey Galloway blessing me in the National Football League down in Tampa, running all those big bender routes. Man, Henry Ruggs is a special, talented receiver, man. Look, nobody saw this dude being the first receiver off the board. I didn't even see it. I was surprised. I love that Oakland took a chance and said, hey, the way this National Football League nowadays, they see Tyreek Hill twice a year. They know what speed can do, and you couple that with a scheme and some other athletic guys on your offense, they got Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and he runs that football pretty darn hard too. And so I love that Henry Ruggs is going to take his talents to Las Vegas, man. He's going to be running up and down that strip.
My question to you, D. Hall, would you rather guard Randy Moss or would you rather guard Jerry Rice, a guy that could do both of them, run past you and run routes?
Hey, you asked the wrong guy that question, James, because I got a little picture to the other side of me with me dogging Jerry Rice. So I'm sorry Jerry was 42 years old at the time, but he shouldn't have been out there on the field anyway. I don't want to guard
42-year-old Jerry.
Yeah, that was the old Jerry, but I don't want to guard Randy Moss. Look, when you're a corner, the one thing that's terrifying is having a dude in front of you that you know is faster than you. And Henry Ruggs is going to be faster than 99.9% of the corners in the National Football League. I was a speed corner, dude, and I was still terrified when I had to line up sometimes. Give me a bigger guy or a guy who's a good route runner. I know at some point he might beat me, but I can still recover. That's what speed gives.
Yes.
Speed gives you affords you the opportunity to make a mistake and still recover. But when you got a guy who can just take the top off of a defense, man, that is scary, because that's the quickest way out of the league, James. It's not having a dude catch slants and comebacks. It's let that ball go over your head a couple times and the coach going to sit you down.
Well, guys, time is going to tell whether the speed guys of this league go forward or whether the route runners like James Jones continue to get in the end zone.
Thank you guys for that. How about this? Jameis Winston